Hey guys, welcome to week 2 of HAIN650. This is a tutorial that speaks to random numbers, and we will be using question number 85 on question 2 on page 85, and you probably want to take a moment to pause and read that question. The first part is asking us to use random numbers to draw a random sample of 10 states from among all the states, including the District of Columbia. Now, the table that's given in 3.2.excel, it did not include this ID number, but in using random numbers to help to select from a real data set, if the data set, if they're not organized that they have unique ID numbers that are in a particular range, it makes sense and it helps to assign those. So what I've done is just added a column for ID, and it's essentially 1 all the way down to 51. So in trying to select numbers randomly, we will be working with 1 to 51, and then if we select the number 3, we know it's Arizona. If we select the number 14, we know it's Illinois, etc. So here for part A, the first step, we wanted to select random numbers. We know the numbers start at 1 and they end at 51. If you start typing and you do RAN, it gives you two options: random numbers, RAN, rand, gives you numbers between 0 and 1. However, this one is more specific and it gives you numbers between range that you can define. So the lowest number we're interested in is 1 and the highest number is 51. Close the bracket and hit enter, and it comes up with that. Now what I've done here is just copied this down. So all of what's here is a set of random numbers, and if you notice, as many times as I do this, it changes the set of random numbers because it's telling Excel to regenerate that. So what these numbers are, the first time I did it, when I got the numbers here, I copied these numbers. If you copy, when you go to paste here to preserve the numbers or to lock it, instead of pasting the value, which will then paste the function and everything, you can, instead of just pasting, which pastes the function, you can paste just the value. So what Excel will do there, it will just capture whatever values exist at that time and copy those values here. So this, if you click on it, it's just the number 8, as opposed to this, which is still reading a function. So that's a subtle difference. So these are the numbers we got. Number 8 corresponds to Delaware, 40 corresponds to Rhode Island. We are interested in 10. So if we select here, and a little trick, if you look at what's happening in this section of the screen, it tells you how many data points you have selected. So far I've got 9, I've got now 10. However, if there's a repeat, for instance, Colorado is being touted twice because it's random number 11 is selected and it's selected again here. That's not going to help, so we're going to have to go deeper, which is why it's always wise to generate more random numbers than you're going to need as samples. And you would just complete the list by referencing the ID numbers to the particular state. The second part is wanting us to use uniform distribution in data analysis add-in to generate random numbers between 1 and 100. And we are interested in selecting 15 states. So data analysis, you hit on that. This is going to remember the last function you use, which is random number generation for me. Click on OK. In this problem, they want us to use the uniform distribution, so we have to make sure that that is selected here on a distribution type. You have a host of distribution type, uniform, and we have one variable. We need to generate 15, and typically I try to at least double that in terms of what I generate, so I always have more than I need, and the numbers are to be between 1 and 100. The random seed was given to us as 1359. And what the random seed is within the bank of random numbers for Excel. The random seed sort of gives another random position to start at. So it increases, quote unquote, the randomness of the numbers that are given. Where do you want data analysis to put the numbers? In my case, I wanted it to start the numbers here. So output range, you would select that and put it here. If you wanted a new worksheet, you could click this. If you wanted it to generate a new workbook, you could click that. But in this case, we're just going to have it display on the same sheet. When you get deeper with using data analysis, you will see that sometimes the output is a nice grid that you want to have a clean page, clean worksheet, and possibly even a workbook. But more commonly, the worksheet is what is used. And then you would click on OK for that. Alright, and it's going to give me this, that something is there. So I don't want it to override the data because I've already done it. So you wouldn't have this issue. Let me go ahead and show you how it would work. This is what I generated before. I'm going to show you what it would look like if you had a clean target. So if we use this as a target and you hit OK, it would just generate the numbers there. The numbers that are generated are down to 5 decimal points, but the ID numbers were matching to our whole numbers. So we can simply go ahead and round these off by decreasing the decimal points down to 0. And again, these numbers correspond to what we have here. And that's just to show you the processing that led to selecting those. So you would go back through the process of matching ID numbers randomly selected to the states based on your list, and you would go through until you have the problem asks for 15 unique states. Alright, so part C wanted us to use normal distribution option in data analysis to generate random numbers with a mean of 20, standard deviation of 4. So you click on random numbers, data analysis. Random numbers is selected because it's the last thing we use, but you have to be careful because if you select another statistical function here, you're going to get confused. So make sure you're selecting the correct one. In this case, we are wanting to use normal distribution. It's one variable. We need to select 10 states. So I would ask for at least 20 numbers, knowing that I will more than likely have enough, with a mean of 20 and a standard deviation of 4. And we are asked to use a random seed of 8109. The target, where is Excel going to put this data? It's already done here, but I want to show you what it is. So let's put it in this cell. So you go ahead and then you click on OK. And again, it generates that with the number of decimal places more than you need. So you decrease the decimal places until you get down to 0, and hence you would have this list. You want to select 15, Minnesota is 24, Florida is 15, Louisiana is 19, and then you would continue until you have generated the specified numbers. Alright, so that's question 2 on page 85. Be sure to reach out to us, the tutors, if you have any questions, or your professors. And this has been Random Number Question. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.